Hello.
Hello.
What's going on, Mr. Ting?
Well, you know, a little bittersweet this episode.
This little bittersweet of the Cruiserweight Classic finale. You're feeling a little bittersweet?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever do you mean, sir?
Well, I mean, first of all, just a great show.
Holy shit.
Just a great show.
Is what the crowd was chanting during this show many times. Yes.
Yeah.
What a show.
But, of course, bittersweet because it's the very last one. So, for the time being, this is going to be the last episode of CWCeen. But let's go out with a bang. I mean, what a way to go out.
Wow, what a way. This was a fantastic... This is by far the best thing the WWE Network has put out. Hands down. This, defeats everything. Like, I mean, set aside pay-per-views. I still call them pay-per-views.
Do you include takeover specials?
Oh, true.
I mean, I guess if we
they're on the same
NXT,
page.
If we include NXT as a series as a whole,
I forget that. Yeah, I forget that. That's a network special.
Not necessarily fair, but like because this was so consistent in its limited run, I might have to agree. Actually, that might not be that crazy of a statement.
This show was so innovative and so fresh. As a wrestling fan who, over the few years of watching wrestling, these past few years, things get a little stale and things get a little boring. I'm tired of guys like Sheamus and your big dudes like the Eric Rowans and all these guys who, to me personally, kind of put me to sleep. So these guys in the cruiserweights. The cruiserweight division just instantly attracted me. It made me instantly want to watch and see what they have to offer. And wow, did they deliver in these 10 weeks, including a finale of these matches that were just wow. I don't even know what else to say. Just a great show.
I mean, I think even more so than just being cruiserweights, it was really a great showcase for what was the best wrestlers, period, outside of the WWE. And I think, you know, we're going to look back at this tournament as really quite groundbreaking because it was a WWE production that, I mean, seemed to break all stereotypes and all, you know, a lot of preconceived notions of what a WWE event is. You know, featuring a ton of people, all keeping their indie names.
Their names.
And wrestling styles that really are not much different from what you'd see, you know, at a PWG or a Ring of Honor. So combine all that with the quality of production and the commentary team of really, I think, man, I think it's really tough to think of a better team from the past decade. Maybe more than that. Than Mauro Ranallo and Daniel Bryan, who I think were just absolutely amazing from the get-go for this show.
Yeah, they were so fantastic. Tonight as well was no different. And here, the past few weeks we've been seeing them pre-taped, right? So this was them doing it live on the spot, and I thought both of them just knocked it out the park. Mauro always, and Daniel Bryan is always the one everyone is like, you know, can he do commentary? And we've seen over these past 10 weeks, yeah, he is really good. So Daniel, I know you're upset that you can't wrestle anymore, but maybe commentary is the way to go. I really enjoyed everything. They made it so real. It's still real to me, damn it. Everything about it. It was, yeah.
That was the other thing too, was the style of production.
Yeah, everything about it made it feel like again, I'm not a prominent UFC watcher, but it made it feel like it was like close to like real fights or something like that. Am I off there or am I?
Not at all. I mean, that was certainly the intent, you know, and all the influences are definitely there. I mean, from the shaking of the hands prior to the matches or touching gloves, whatever you want to call it, to you know, the vignettes that are very much UFC influenced, tales of the tape. And even today, having one of the best things I love today that we didn't really see prior, but we did see here was a post-match interview featuring an interpreter.
Yeah.
For somebody who doesn't speak that English, which
yes.
I mean, for such a still, to this day, I think we all wonder, man, how are these guys, how is somebody like Gran Metalik going to get over in the main roster if he doesn't speak English? How's Shinsuke Nakamura going to, or he speaks enough English, but for instance, whatever, Asuka, how's she going to get over on the main roster if she doesn't speak English? The answer is simple. A translator. And I mean, I know that wrestling's a little different and that, people are kind of relied upon to do a lot of acting and you might not be able to get everything across, be a translator. But I mean, I feel like you could still do a whole lot with somebody there just to translate. And I thought it was effective today, and I hope it's something that they maintain when they transition to the main roster next week.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like that's what I mean. Everything kind of felt so real, like they were like really. I don't know. Everything about this whole thing, this innovative thing, as they mentioned a few times, the brainchild, the brain baby, or whatever of Triple H, and whoever is the people who brought all this together. Just like well done. Just a great show. I would definitely continue to watch this more, but now it's over, way. And you're right. It's like everything it got to the top, and now it's like,
the best things are things that aren't around like every single week. So
yes,
I actually like the fact that this is limited, and I don't even know if I want to see them bring it back necessarily next year.
I don't know if we will.
Yeah, I'd love it if they would maybe make it once every 2 year thing, or even once every 4 years. Make it really special.
Switch it up, yeah.
We're talking about pro wrestling in the WWE, and so we'll probably get another tournament next month.
Yes, the Tag Team Classic is next month. Yeah. No, I would love to see it come back, but yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe spread it out a bit. And the way that things kind of trailed off, that maybe, it will take a little bit of a hiatus, just because of now, they're pretty much taking all these guys and bringing them to Monday Night Raw. So they can't just do that every year, or there'd just be so many guys being brought in all the time. So I think stretching it out definitely is a thing. But just such a unique show, and I enjoyed everything about it. As a nerdy wrestling fan that I am, I loved every bit of this whole tournament. It's just fantastic. And this finale, wow, these are some crazy matches.
Let's get to it.
Let's do it, my man. This was cool. They have these video packages in the beginning. Your basic WWE video packages of, there's a song playing underneath. It kind of sounded like some rock. I don't know. I'm just trying to describe this video. The video packages alone always make me hyped up for a match. You got to have a good video package to get me really excited.
These video packages, I mean, they clearly have a different production team doing these shows. Maybe it's similar to the one to the ones that do NXT. I'm not sure, but at least you could tell with the CWC, they aside from the MMA-Inspired Production, there are a lot of other elements that they introduce, like the way they do the recaps. They use a lot of slow-mo cameras from a B-roll camera shot in with a film look, and I guess that's something that's probably maybe MMA influenced too, because Strikeforce used to do that a whole lot. So they're employing a lot of different elements that you don't see on Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah, you know what? You're the guy. You're the editor, the camera, the guy who shoots all the time. So that is something. I'm a fan of documentaries and a lot of the BBC documentaries on crazy stuff like that. And that is a tactic that they use. And now
actually TNA uses a lot of that.
Yeah, they do too, but a little different. I enjoyed it. Again, the one in my mind is the Kota Ibushi moonsault. I've probably seen him do that in slow motion a few times just from tonight, but love it. So video package off the beginning, pretty much showing the journey of the whole tournament leading up to tonight. All the competitors, all 32 men,
and voiced over by Triple H here.
Yes, Triple H doing his best voiceover work here, aside from Scooby-Doo. I mean,
of course, Triple H, has been completely absent, at least on camera, for the duration of this entire tournament until this particular episode. The only real instance connecting him to the tournament on screen has been the presentation of the trophy initially.
Right.
And that was during a takeover special. But prior to this, there was very little mention of Triple H. But, I think behind the scenes, especially with this audience, everybody knows this is another one of Triple H's babies.
Yes, definitely.
But on screen here, we see him taking a bigger role on this episode.
Yes, definitely. This is where he kind of shows his face at the end. But we'll get to that. Our first matchup, our semifinals here, Gran Metalik versus Zack Sabre Jr. Now, there's a lot of speculation going into this special of who signed and who isn't. The little game that everyone's playing at home.
Before we even get to the matches, I put out a very, very, very official Twitter poll asking before the show began who everybody thought was going to win, and of 110 votes, I will tell you the results. And 14% of people thought Zack Sabre Jr. was going to win. So assuming a lot of people probably didn't think he was. And then we have 20% of people thinking Gran Metalik was going to win.
Wow.
28% for TJ Perkins. And the majority, 38%, feeling Kota Ibushi was going to win this tournament. So, I mean, Chris Charlton actually tweeted out something that he must have seen it from an interview from New Japan, probably, or from somewhere over the past several days, where Kota Ibushi again reiterates to the Japanese media that he is not signing. And so I'm assuming, myself included, and I think John Pollock included, we probably partially at least assume that this could be just, a red herring. And, that I love that existed, that speculation was there because it made this match way more interesting.
Yes, definitely. I have a feeling a lot of people's eyes were watching that match specifically because they're like, well, if he loses here, I guess he's not signed. So, that may have come into play in these matches of, some people who have not signed with the WWE. But, Gran Metalik, Zack Sabre Jr., just a side note, when Zack Sabre Jr. comes out, his music is playing, they cut to a long-haired guy in a Macho Man shirt, just headbanging for a good solid, 10 seconds. I had to write this out because I hope someone, gifts it and something like that. It's just too wonderful to not.
He's the Izzy for, Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, the long-haired metalhead guy just headbanging. Weird.
Is that not your typical indie wrestling fan right there? Long-headed metal, long-haired metal.
I don't know.
Guy.
He was in a Macho Man shirt though. Maybe put him in a Bullet Club shirt.
Bullet Club shirt. You're right.
There was a lot of Bullet Club shirts in the audience tonight. I had noticed that. It's my favorite wrestling shirt. So good for that. I don't know. Maybe Bullet Club's kind of not as indie anymore. You kind of need to go even more niche. But I'll look ProWrestlingTees.com. That's where you get all these shirts. So right as the bell rings here, Gran Metalik, Zack Sabre Jr., we get a drop kick from Gran Metalik, sending Zack Sabre Jr. to the outside, and right away, a tope, just a dive, right over the top. I'm talking seconds into this matchup. They are not playing around. He rolls him into the ring, and then a springboard sent on into the ring for a 2 count. Instantly, they have gotten the attention of the crowd. They are super hot here at Full Sail University in Orlando. Zack Sabre Jr. quickly applies a octopus stretch, a variation where he's wrenching on the arms. He's always wrenching on the arms. Head scissors into a submission again. He's a pretty talented submission specialist, if you ask me. My WWE Network feed cut out, and it kind of went black for a second. And as it cut back, we have a Dragon Sleeper by Zack Sabre Jr. So I don't know how many seconds I really was behind.
You didn't miss much, but something notable that you probably did miss was that there was a Lucha Libre dual chant, with the other chant being technical.
Yes, yes, I did hear that, and I was like, what are I assumed they were trying to chant something like catch wrestling or technical or UK wrestling or something like that, but yes, it was great.
That's a dueling chant I've never heard before.
Yes, very funny. I loved it. There's lots of chants in this episode. The crowd is very vocal today, except I don't like when the crowd talks and tries to chirp people when they're talking. It's very disrespectful. Don't do it if you're in a crowd. It's very mean.
What are you talking about?
Like whenever there's a promo or something and someone's talking, Full Sail is so tiny that if you yell something, you will be on TV. Your voice will
like a heckler?
Yeah. I hate hecklers here. It's just
sometimes they're funny though.
Sometimes, but most of the time,
the finish him guy, the guy who yelled finish him.
You still. Yes, that's true. But you usually most of the time you're not funny and you kind of come off like a douche. You're usually just trying to get yourself over. And it's like, man, I'm watching at home and I'm trying to listen. You could ruin a promo, but the crowd when they're loud during a match, go for it. I love it. And they were very loud here. We get a Dragon Sleeper by Zack Sabre Jr. Gran Metalik wiggles out of it, but he runs into just a numerous amount of European uppercuts. Zack Sabre Jr. making Cesaro work for those uppercuts because he delivered. I couldn't count how many European uppercuts he used in this match. He's going for like the wrenching, the goalpost where he's kind of using his shoulders against him, like an octopus stretch attempt. But Gran Metalik does get out of it. We get a super kick and a reverse sling blade. That's right, reverse sling blade from the opposite side and pretty much landing like a bulldog type move. Then a standing star press. Zack Sabre Jr. kicks out. Metalik hits his own kind of octopus stretch submission here with like a head scissors and a triangle and into an arm bar, and pretty innovative. I liked how both these guys are kind of adapting the styles. Actually, all four guys in the finals kind of did do that. They're all like well-rounded athletes, I guess, is what they're trying to play off. Get a satellite into a guillotine by Zack Sabre Jr. Very impressive. But Metalik with his own submission, a Boston Crab, and then they go from counter to counter of different roll-ups and pin attempts, and then a slap fest. Zack Sabre Jr., he's not the biggest dog in the fight, but man, he is, as a millennial would say, he is a savage. He's like, Cesaro comes across, he reminds me of Cesaro because they do the uppercuts, but it's like, he's a tiny guy, but he's got like such a loud bark.
He's thin. He looks skinny, but the guy's ferocious. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
He like if that's what they were trying to deliver in this match to tell me that he was, like, it came across that way. It's
interesting because like. And again, like, I think earlier on in the tournament, his style looked a little bit light, but like, you know, those are probably maybe earlier matches where he didn't need to be as intense, but like, and even like at the beginning of a lot of these matches, he starts out very, very light and does a lot of technical stuff. But when it's time for him to get aggressive, the guy gets really aggressive.
Right. Yeah. So, he's very aggressive. We get a huge lariat by Metalik, only a 2 count, a super kick and a springboard back elbow again for a pair. Metalik does his rope walk, kind of springboard jumpy move, but he flies into an uppercut by Zack Sabre Jr. We get the penalty kick. I thought it was done. Metalik kicks out. We get anytime he hits that penalty kick, I think it's over. I think it should be his finish. It's just great. And he's from the UK, so penalty kick. Football, come on. Zack Sabre Jr., he thought it was done when he hit the penalty kick because the facial reaction on his face was just like, what? I thought I had the guy beat. What the hell's going on? He's getting pretty angry. Metalik counters a half Nelson suplex into an octopus stretch and then into like a crucifix arm wrench, but Sabre gets the ropes. They go up top and they're battling up there, and Metalik crotches Zack Sabre Jr. on the ropes to the side of the turnbuckle, then Hurricane Rana's him right off of it. Pretty insane. He goes up top. He lays Zack Sabre Jr. out here, and he goes to springboard to like a frog splash. But as he goes for the landing, Zack Sabre Jr. catches him in a triangle, and Mauro Ranallo thought that this was the end because it almost for a second looked like Gran Metalik was tapping out, but in fact he was shaking his finger saying, no, I ain't tapping out. He gets out of it. He finally does get to the ropes. We get a bridging counter and counter for counter here. Both guys get up. Zack Sabre Jr. Runs at him with an uppercut, but gets countered into the Gran Metalik driver, and Zack Sabre Jr. is eliminated. Gran Metalik advances here to the finals of the Cruiserweight Classic. What a like, this match just had no pause button at all. It was just go. Yeah, loved it.
From the get-go, it was, I mean, they started off really hot, and if you only if you were blind and you're only listening to the match, like the guy in the documentary who I believe does listen to the Law. I forget your name, sorry. But if let's say if you couldn't see, okay, or let's say your WWE Network feed was out and you're only listening to the match, this crowd was at a 10 from the get-go, and they ended at a 10. Like, they, made it fine, 11, 12, whatever. But, like, they didn't really let up, and that's because I think, a combination of the show being, being the first match in the show, and because that was the style of match, even for somebody like Zack Sabre Jr., who, at times, works a slower technical style, the way he does a lot of his submissions and his grappling,
right?
He twists his opponent so impressively that he gets big reactions without having to work fast. And I think that makes for a tremendous combo when you do have somebody who can bring like a really fast paced style for the other parts of the match in Gran Metalik. And so this match, I mean, in terms of styles, these two are almost like at opposite ends of the spectrum. You have, the European grappler, mat-based grappler versus the luchador. And I think that they told a wonderful story of each man trying to implement their style against the other. And I mean, and that's another great thing about this tournament is that you get to see so many specific styles and you get to see great representations of that. But I mean, you see this match on paper, and I know they're both very, very capable guys, but I never imagined that they'd be able to mix their two styles so well together, in one single match. And I think they did that really well.
Yeah, definitely. For me, it almost seemed like the story was that Gran Metalik had to kind of change his game plan and fight submission for submission, like be more technical to fight back against the Zack Sabre Jr. And in the end, I mean, he used the Metalik driver, so it wasn't anything crazy high flying, but it's his signature move. But I enjoyed it. You're right. The styles of the class, like everything about it is just great. This was a really cool, hot match to start this off with. Definitely, if you weren't, to quote, what was the line in the movie, if you didn't, you had my curiosity, but now you have my attention. That's definitely this match.
What movie is that?
Oh man, I'm totally blanking. Leonardo DiCaprio, Jamie Foxx, Django.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, great line in that movie, and they're absolutely right. This is definitely what that wanted. They knew we were going to tune in, but they made sure that we're tuning into the right show tonight, and we definitely did. That was a great opening match. Awesome.
It was a really good opener, and I almost felt like it might have ended a little bit soon because, I mean, I feel like as somebody like a favorite in the tournament, like a Zack Sabre Jr., probably deserved at least one kick out from like the Metalik driver. But I understand, and this was, probably a problem for the rest of the show was, and that was you couldn't do too much in that first match, especially. So I didn't have a problem with that at all. That's
true, yeah. Well, William Regal comes out after the match and gives Gran Metalik a Cruiserweight Classic medal. I'm guessing everyone who advances on gets these golds like anyway from this point on. It's like the silver medal. It looks kind of like the trophy, but on a medal. Then this is where after the post match interview. With the translator, and basically Gran Metalik just goes, thank you, and they cut off his answer at the end. They didn't let his translator, who was a female, they cut her off. I was like, what?
I'm guessing he probably just translated it himself.
Yeah. I was okay with it, but I was just like, wait, what? So, but I could tell she was like, what about me? So, it's just super cool. This made it seem like so, I don't know, so real.
Oh, it just felt like a sporting event.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it really did.
Even down to like the way that, and that might be kind of just because it's these two, but, they don't even talk like wrestlers necessarily. They're like, they talk like athletes. It's not really like a flamboyant delivery. And I have to feel like maybe that was by design, by the producers of the show.
That's 100%. You're right. It definitely comes off that way. We go now to backstage, and it is Gargano and Ciampa, and they announced that they are not facing the Revival as I thought they were supposed to. I thought they were supposed to have a match against the Revival tonight, but apparently.
I think a lot of people thought that. So did they initially announce that?
It's kind of. I'm trying to. As soon as this happened, I tried to think back. Like, did I miss something? Because both me and Jason both thought that that's kind of what they said, but they could have just alluded to it. But Instead of facing the Revival, they announced they are going up against Noam Dar and Cedric Alexander, and I'm okay with this sub-in. I am 100% okay with seeing this match. They say that they're facing these two guys, and nothing against these guys, but they have to prove that they are still the best tag team because they are coming straight for the NXT tag team titles. Revival best be watching, and the Revival is watching because these guys are coming for the titles, man.
Boom.
So that is later on. We go to our second semifinal match. Maybe the most talked about match tomorrow because of the whole circumstances with Ibushi here. Kota Ibushi, TJ Perkins is our match up here. A highly anticipated match. Kota Ibushi was your pick, was he not?
Yes, he was. Yes.
Okay, and just for the record, who was my pick?
TJ Perkins.
All right, just saying.
Wow. You should have really bet on it. You should have put some money down.
This match didn't start off just as quick as the last one, but still just as entertaining.
It was a more traditional start.
Yes.
Wrestling more of a Japanese shoot style type of match.
The story in the beginning of this match was very entertaining for me. They go to grapple and kind of go at it a little bit, and they push one side up to the ropes, and the referee always tries to separate you at the ropes, and as he does, Kota Ibushi goes to side kick TJ Perkins, but he blocks it like it's nothing. He slaps it off like a kick. Then they go at it again, and they're on the other side. He goes for it again. TJP just claps it off like, get out of here. I don't want. I know what you're trying to do, and I one upped you. And then finally, Kota Ibushi does get that kick in, and the crowd knew that he was kind of deserving it. TJ Perkins, to me, I thought was more of a heel leading up to this episode, and it kind of switched over. At least
you mean from the rest of the tournament, he seemed like a heel.
I thought so. I thought so more. Maybe because he's dabbing, and maybe
is dabbing a heelish thing to do?
I mean. I don't think dabbing is heel, but it's just
I feel like that's a babyface thing to do.
I think it's that's true. But
I guess it depends who you're dabbing at. If you're dabbing at I don't know, like a hipster or like a Gen Xer, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Do hipsters dab? I don't know.
I can't say that I dab. I'm sorry.
Maybe if you're dabbing,
maybe a different type of dab.
If you're dabbing at Jason Agnew, then you're definitely a heel.
I would love to see Jason Agnew dab, or John Pollock.
Jason Dabnew.
There you go. T-shirt. Put it on a T-shirt. The crowd is crazy hot for these guys, as you would imagine, especially Kota Ibushi. We get a springboard drop kick from Ibushi, sending TJ to the outside. He goes for the triangle moonsault, but gets kicked in the butt and sends him crashing to the outside. Literally just gets super kicked right in the butt, and he goes flying to the outside.
And was this the one where he lands on his head?
Yes, Daniel Bryan is very adamant to go, look where he landed, look how he landed, watch the replay, watch it. He's very into it. It makes you want to watch it. What? Show me this replay. Show me it again. Show me it again.
Yeah, it was definitely a detail that I think a lesser commentator probably wouldn't have been able to identify.
Exactly. So yes,
it really helped the match. And also, sorry, on the dab note, Perkins actually didn't dab.
Yes, he does not dab, and he does not dab in this match, and they make note of that. TJ Perkins rolls him in from this crash, and he gets this submission. What is it? He does a standing Hurricane Rana, he a head scissor into this hold that he has done prior matches that we've seen, and that's when he does his dab, and instead he doesn't do it, and Mauro Ranallo is look, this is the Cruiserweight Classic, the finals. We're this is our final show here. He ain't got time to dab. He has to take this too seriously now.
I love that the lack of dab was used throughout the night for Perkins as a way to show how serious he is.
Sorry guys, I have no time to dab. I am trying to win a match.
No, it totally makes sense.
For
the
sure,
guy's taking it seriously. He's not going to dance in the middle of it.
For sure, yeah, 100%. 100%. I like that. It was the little things there. Again, from Daniel and Morrow, both really selling me on this match. We get just huge kicks from Ibushi in the match, and I know I haven't seen all of Ibushi's stuff. I've seen some matches here and there from his New Japan, and I know that people think he is the best kicker and the strongest kicker, and I have to agree with these people. Like, you could hear it sounds like a thud. It sounds like someone falling off a building, and just like a I don't even know. It just sounds like,
what terrible imagery.
I know, but that's what it sounds like. If you took the sound effect of him kicking TJ Perkins here in the chest, straight to the chest, and I know this is a fixed, predetermined sport, but that is something that is hard to fake. This guy is getting kicked. Straight. He's getting kicked. Perkins goes from submission hold to submission hold here, trying to show off his technical skills. We get a standing Hurricane Rana, sending Perkins to the outside, and now Kota Ibushi lands with his golden triangle moonsault. This is the moonsault where they showed a million times in slow motion. It's just every time he hits this move, it's beauty. It's just a thing of beauty. We get a snap bridging German suplex by Ibushi, but TJP kicks out. Again with the kicks, just thuds, like just he's just destroying this guy. He goes for the apron German suplex, where TJP is on the apron outside the ring, and Ibushi is trying to, while standing on the second rope, trying to German him into the ring. One of his classic moves that we've seen in some of his matches. But Perkins counters it with his slingshot front drop kick, and then puts him up on the top turnbuckle. He flies off the top turnbuckle. Sorry. TJ Perkins goes in the ring. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
He does the wrecking ball drop kick.
Yeah, like you jump over, and some of these moves are just crazy. TJ Perkins counters the Golden Star Powerbomb into a huge DDT. The crowd was ecstatic here. He hits him with a DDT, and before Ibushi even hits the mat fully, he lifts him up and hits his modified front lung blower, but Ibushi kicks out at 2. We get the fireman carry into the Pele kick. Oh, no, sorry. Ibushi goes for the Pele kick, but gets countered into the knee bar, and this knee bar is coming into play now. Definitely been working the leg here. Every match the TJP has been in this tournament has been won with the knee bar, so they're really selling this move.
I mean, I gasped for when they when they did this. I mean, it looked so perfect. It was beautiful.
So,
I mean, so many of these exchanges were just even a video game wouldn't render it as nicely, because you probably have motion detection issues, but they were so ambitious, and they hit everything really nice.
Yeah, I mean, the Pele kick is a fantastic move to see. The guy is backflipping into the other guy with a kick, but this is countered into the knee bar. Pretty sweet spot. I thought so too. Very smooth. Both of these guys are professionals for sure. So he has him into the knee bar, but finally he gets to the ropes. He does not tap out. They beat the shit out of each other here, more so when they're both on their knees, and they get to their feet.
Dude,
yeah.
The striking exchange here?
Yes.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, man. There were multiple times where they were able to time both of them hitting each other in the face at the same time. They would dip down, come back up, do a few more strikes. Again, time it perfectly so that each would hit each other in the face.
Yes.
And then it just it just kept going, and the crowd was nuts. And then it finally ended with that Golden Star Bomb.
Yes.
Dude, it was like seeing two guitars hit a note for note perfect dueling solo. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like the amount of timing and precision that's required to do this. It was amazing.
Yeah, so what Wei is basically saying, they're on their knees and they're hitting strike for strike, and then they slowly get up to their feet and they're still hitting each other back and forth, and then they essentially hit each other in the strikes multiple times. It's very impressive again. And then Ibushi hits the Golden Star Powerbomb, and Full Sail University damn near loses their mind when TJ Perkins kicks out of it. He is at a loss for work. He's like, how did he kick out? What do I do now? So if he kicks out of the power bomb, he's got one other move that maybe will do the job. He goes for the Phoenix Splash, but Perkins rolls out of the way. He misses it. Ibushi crashes and burns. He gets up, fireman carry into the Pele of his own kind of thing, the TJ Perkins move, the detonation kick, as he calls it. He gets dropped underneath. He gets a 2 count only. And then Kota Ibushi gets back up, goes for the Golden Star Powerbomb again. This time, TJP counters it into the sunset flip into the knee bar. And if that's not enough, he wrenches the knee and then decides to put him in almost like an STF, I would say. A knee bar with the STF just wrenching up on the chin and the neck, the surgically repaired neck, mind you, of Kota Ibushi. And that is just too much. And Japan is crying because Kota Ibushi taps out to TJ Perkins. Oh my goodness, Wei, how are you feeling after this match?
Man, I wanted to cry watching this match. It was so beautiful. I felt like a kid again watching this match, and not a jaded wrestling reviewer, because I felt like super emotional during this match because I really, first, the stakes were so high. And I legitimately didn't know who was going to win. And I really bought into everything. And the crowd was amazing. It was just really, really perfect pro wrestling. I really liked this match.
Yeah.
If you couldn't tell.
Yes, I really love this one as well. This was really fantastic work from both of these guys. And now hearing all the things about Kota Ibushi not signing, it was like this was just like a little tease. It was like, oh, here, I'm going to be in some WWE programming, and not anymore. I'm not coming back. But hopefully he does his thing, and maybe one day he'll be back.
Yeah, maybe.
Ring. I think so.
Yeah. And I guess we'll talk about this more later, but man, the string of matches that Kota Ibushi had for the last 3 matches in this series were just like
all of his matches, yeah,
all breathtaking.
Yes, as again, someone who's only seen certain matches in his career prior to this, he blew me away. Definitely, I would definitely watch more of him in the future in any promotion. I would definitely purposely seek out to watch this guy. Very impressive. Awesome stuff here. But he's eliminated, and he's no longer in this tournament. And we're down to 2. Gran Metalik and TJ Perkins are your finals here. But before we get to that, here is in fact our bonus match of the evening. It's no.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, yes.
A TJ Perkins.
Oh, right. The post-match interview. Right. Basically, they mentioned that TJP was homeless, and they always they're trying to knock you over the head with the fact that he was homeless and, never let people down. I've seen on Twitter that there is an altercation between Josh Matthews and TJ Perkins prior to or right after him exiting TNA as the manic character / the TJ Perkins. So people were tweeting that because people are saying that he was aiming certain words to Josh Matthews. I don't think he was thinking about Josh Matthews tonight at all.
Yeah, did he mean because what he said was, he quoted Confucius or something. He said, before enlightenment, chopped wood carry water. After enlightenment, chopped wood carry water.
Very zen.
Yeah, and I guess that was to indicate that nothing changes for him. He still has a final match to go to, but I don't know how I felt about the Confucius stuff.
It was a little odd.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm a very zen person, man. Good vibes, but yeah, it was a little out there. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's supposed to represent the Philippines, but he looks very American to me. But I don't know if that was the reason why they try to get like a more.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think he was probably trying for something, but I don't know if that necessarily worked. But
right.
This match was just.
Still,
incredible.
It was great. Yeah. Fantastic. So now here is the bonus match. Noam Dar and Cedric Alexander versus Team DIY, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. This match was crazy. To be completely honest, trying to write notes for this match, not possible. On a live show, Very.
No, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you, please.
This was insane. I'm just gonna run off like essentially the highlights. This was talk about the first. I mentioned the first match. There was no pause button. This match was like on 1.5 speed because this match was so fast. All four guys here are just incredibly talented. This was so cool. The crowd loved it too. Here again. Bear with me. This was very fast. We get a handspring kick and a huge tope con hero, as Morrow called it. From I didn't even write who did it. See, that's how hard it was to call this match. Cedric Alexander is just on fire. That's the one who hit the move. He goes back in the ring with a jumping flatliner or complete shot. Only a 2 count. There's a spot where Johnny Gargano kicks. Tommaso Ciampa has Noam Dar on his shoulders in an electric chair outside the ring. And Johnny Gargano is on the apron and super kicks Dar off of Tommaso Ciampa's shoulders. Very cool spot here. Very Doomsday Device-like. We get the in-ring spear by Johnny Gargano onto Cedric Alexander. Only a 2 count. Cedric fights back with a huge, and I mean huge, Michinoku driver. Johnny Gargano kicks out of that. Ciampa damn near knees everybody in his match. I wouldn't be surprised if he accidentally kneed Gargano. He just throws knees around like nothing. He's like Zack Sabre Jr. and his uppercuts. It's Tommaso Ciampa and his knees. Would you consider Tommaso Ciampa strong style?
I don't know. I don't really know that distinction. To me, it's all, he would certainly fit in with a New Japan style for sure. But typically I find like strong style in North America kind of means here's a Japanese guy.
Yeah. Okay. That works. They did say that at Kota Ibushi. They're like, strong style, Kota Ibushi. Yeah. So, yeah. Ciampa is, again, he's kneeing everybody. He does a move in most of his matches where he does like a bicycle kick. He does a bicycle knee. Like, this is how many knees this guy's doing. He's so many variations. We get a bicycle kick by Dar onto Ciampa, but runs into an enziguri. Then Cedric Alexander hits his own enziguri. Everyone is hitting everyone in a full rotation of a circle. Just insanity. Full Sail is going nuts. As was I. I was just like, what is happening? I can't even describe some of these moves. This was, when I think of like cruiserweights and like high flying and all this stuff, this is this match. This match is just insanity. Again, the crowd is loving it. We get the Johnny Gargano vintage like roll through kick, but it's countered into the knee bar by Noam Dar. Ciampa breaks it up. He gets the tag in. He's going up against Noam Dar, but Dar gets some offense onto him, and he does the Johnny Gargano, the Tyler Breeze kind of move where the guy is perched up on the top rope and you
Cheeky Nando's.
Yes. What is it?
Cheeky Nando's.
Cheeky Nando's. Love it. Is it? All right, never mind.
It's apparently it's like it's a saying in England or something. I guess Will Ospreay named it, and Nando's is like a food chain.
Yes, Nando's chicken, Portuguese chicken.
Yeah. Well, so it's a cheeky version of
Nando.
that.
Ooh, love
and
it.
It's a kick.
Well, Nando's Portuguese chicken is a little spicy, so it's got a little bit of a kick. So maybe that's why. Just a little bit. So he hits this. No, he sets it up, and he's going for this crazy kick. But instead of, usually guys get the guy in the spot and they super kick him through the legs. But instead, Noam Dar from the opposite corner runs right at him with a huge flying running drop kick.
Is actually Cedric.
Oh, was it Cedric? Sorry, yeah. He sets it up for Cedric, right?
Dar was attacking Gargano outside.
Yes. Yeah. He sets it up for his. So Cedric hits that move. He does not hold Ciampa down. They eventually get Cedric out of the ring. They toss him out. We get the lawn dart by Gargano onto Noam Dar. And Team DIY does it themselves and hits their knee super kick combo finish and pins Noam Dar. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa still going strong as a tag team. Whether or not it's in NXT, on the Cruiserweight Classic, or on Monday Night Raw, these guys are very impressive to watch. Love these guys. What did you think of this?
I thought a very good match. Really good match. And I think it was more your typical indie style match.
It reminded me so indie, yeah.
Everybody just hitting their big moves, everybody trying to impress and steal the show. And in that sense, it was very good. I feel like I couldn't really appreciate it as much because I felt like I was still recovering from the previous two matches, you know.
That's true.
And you know, I almost, even in a way, found it a little counterproductive to the card as a whole because I felt so spent from the last two matches that I feel like maybe this particular spot on this card could have been replaced with maybe a slower pace match to set me up for what was even to come after this. But, you know, as a match on its own, I mean, I thought it was great.
If this match happened on Monday Night Raw, people would be like, what the hell? Did you see that match? What the hell? Like, It was crazy. It reminded me of an indie match. But the thing, my issue with indie wrestling is like, me and you were having this conversation like at work the other day where it's like, you can't, it's not WWE like, it's not WWE produced, you know what I mean? WWE is so well produced and everything, but certain indie shows are just, they kind of look like shit.
You mean the TV product?
Yeah. Like when they film it, right? Like if I'm watching it at home, sure, live, it doesn't matter. You can have, you can enjoy a great match anywhere in a high school gym, in a bingo hall, or in a giant stadium. But like watching at home it can be a little difficult when it kind of looks awful. So when you have all these indie guys and you get the WWE like production value,
money.
Like essentially, like I don't know if that's a terrible thing, but like it makes it so much better. So maybe that's why it's clicking as well. It's like, oh, all these indie guys know how to have really good matches, but no promotion they work for has the money to like film it properly. Well, guess what? We do. So here you go. So it's like, I swear Triple H just wants to beat the indies at their own game. Oh, New Japan's getting popular? We're going to snipe all their guys. Oh, the indies are super popular? We're going to take those guys too. Like, they're just killing it. 2016, crazy year for wrestling.
Yeah, they're definitely like pillaging a lot from the independent scene.
Yes.
But I feel like something like this has reinvigorated the independent scene because I think it's made people more aware of of wrestlers that are around. I think like, you know, anytime you go to an indie now, you know that everybody there has a chance of making it into the WWE because what they're looking for has completely changed.
Yeah.
So, you know, I feel like it's helped the independents.
If I'm an independent worker, if I'm an independent wrestler, and this is going on, and all this stuff with the Cruiserweight Classic is going on, and all these indie guys are just getting so much respect, and all the eyes are on them now, it's got to light a fire under my ass now. If I'm going to these indie shows, I don't care if there's 20 people in the crowd, I'm going to go out and, you know, make sure these 20 people go home and talk about me.
I mean, for all the love that the Performance Center gets, in the end, it's the independents that are really churning out all these high level guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
The Performance Center is not. They're taking these fitness models or football players, and they're not necessarily turning them into stars on the main roster. All the guys that are turning into stars are guys that started on the indies. They're getting good because they have all this experience from the indies. So it's still really the place that I think the wrestling fan recognizes to go to look for the next crop of guys.
Yeah, you're right. Like, look at Mojo Rawley, ex-football player. He's not doing super great. Sure, he's on the main roster, but no one's really excited when he comes out. And same with all the fitness models and stuff like that. It's maybe we're gonna move away from that completely. Maybe not WWE. When Vince steps down, we'll move away from that. Okay. Well, Mauro Ranallo and Daniel Bryan are ringside for their commentary, getting prepared for their final match here. They're pretty much saying goodbye to us, essentially what they're saying. They're like, thanks, for all that stuff. They bring in William Regal, who is the NXT general manager. They kind of ask him a few questions about, his career and things about that and how this thing came about.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
In recruiting the 32 men, along with Canyon Seaman, the HR guy.
Yes.
I believe.
So he says, even though it was the brainchild of Triple H, him and I don't remember the name, but they go around. Yeah. So
Canyon.
Yeah. Oh, like Canyon?
No.
Oh, right. Sorry. Rest in peace. William Regal is just saying, like, man, I can't do these high-flying things. I can do some technical stuff, but nowhere near as talented as these young guys, and basically putting everyone over. And, it was cool. Then they bring in Corey Graves and Corey, Mr. Monday Night
They had a lot of time to fill.
Yeah, I think so. This is all leading up to, of course, our final match here. TJ Perkins, Gran Metalik. Both guys come out. They're in the ring. And as the referee is being prepared to ring the bell, Triple H music hits. Mm-hmm. Triple H comes down to the ring. The crowd is very excited to see him. It's like the opposite of Monday Night Raw, where people just boo him. And here he's like the good guy. It's okay.
He's got a dual roles.
You know who he is though. He's Triple H the Don. We've gotten over this. The Don.
Triple H the Don.
Triple H the Don. Triple H grabs a microphone. He talks about how the Cruiserweight Classic is like a big deal, and all these he appreciates and loves the support and all the guys who are in it, and basically says that you two have gotten here, but unfortunately there can only be one, and that the Cruiserweights are coming to Monday Night Raw, and that the winner of this match will be the winner of the inaugural Cruiserweight Classic, but also they will be walking in to Monday Night Raw next week as the new WWE Cruiserweight Champion, revealing the brand new Cruiserweight Championship belt. What did you think of this belt, Way? It's purple and silver.
I was expecting basically the exact same design as the Universal, the World, and the Women's.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't look like that. Just
a different color, but this was a completely new design. This was almost like a octagon, hexagon shape.
It looks so cool. It's the purple strap and then silver, like instead of like the gold, it's silver. I love it. It looks cool. It's something completely new.
It is very cool, and I like it a lot. And I love that they kept the purple color scheme because it's something that makes it all unique on its own. The purple color scheme is something that's not shared by either NXT nor Raw nor SmackDown, and I think it keeps the Cruiserweight identity intact. And it reminds you about this tournament that I think has really helped bolster that reputation. This was unexpected, I think, for everybody, for them to announce the championship at the end of this tournament. And I wonder when it was decided. I mean, because I wonder if this was always the plan or if they just decided to do it now. Yeah. I feel like this match, because both of your favorites and, arguably the biggest stars of the tournament, Zack Sabre Jr. And Kota Ibushi weren't in here. I feel like the main event kind of took a blow in terms of star power. And so Triple H coming out, doing this whole thing, making the stakes greater, I think was a necessary thing. And I think it obviously helped, increase interest for this match.
Yeah, definitely. As soon as because he doesn't have the belt with him right away. You don't know he has it. And then he goes, and then they'll be the new champion, and then someone hands it to him and he unveils it out of the bag, and the crowd went crazy. The crowd popped. So you're absolutely right. I feel like if anyone who's kind of worn out or maybe not as interested, someone tweeted me and you during the match saying that live at Full Sail that there was some people standing behind him, like a row behind him, and he heard them say that if Zack Sabre Jr. and Kota Ibushi aren't in the finals, they would leave, and they did. This person said that, the guy who said he's going to leave actually left. So that's a little insane. I definitely would not do that. That's a little disrespect. So don't do that. That's mean. It's bad. But yeah, definitely. Maybe you're right. The star power was a little lacking because everyone kind of wanted to see the other two guys. But you're right. It got us back in. It hooked us back in. So TJP, Gran Metalik, the winner here now has a lot to win. Nothing to lose, essentially, but a lot to gain. A Cruiserweight Championship belt and to be the first winner of the Cruiserweight Classic. Lot at stake here. Start off the match. TJP with his head scissor hold and still no dabbing. No dabbing at all. He ain't got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. There is someone in the front row with a dab on M TJP sign. I love that. We get a Boston Crab into Morrow called it a pendulum hold. Very impressive looking submission type move here. We get an exchange of all these flashy hold for holds and counters and stuff like that. Gran Metalik with the luchador again going against TJP, who's kind of more of a well-rounded athlete, I would say, wrestler, because he's got some of the submissions like the knee bar and a lot of the submissions he pulls out, but he also has high flying as well. Mm-hmm. So I feel like he's a great mix of that.
Yes.
Again, he was my pick, Way. That's why I picked him. Gran Metalik with a suicide dive headbutt through the ropes. TJP gets the Muda lock on at some point here. Metalik does get to the ropes. Again, the story here is similar to the last match. TJP knows that once I get this knee bar on you, it's over. You're gonna tap out. So that's the story here. He definitely wants to go. And both guys are tired from their first match. Both guys went like 20 minutes easy. So they're already spent.
About 15 each.
Yeah. So they're spent here. Also, the time limit for this match, as it is the final, was 60 minutes. They did not go that long, but they did announce that in the beginning of the match. Gran Metalik, with the suicide dive headbutt, he gets him into the rings. He does his rope walk springboard senton that he did earlier in the night, 2 count only. We get a surfboard by Gran Metalik. We get a headstand into a head scissors, sending both of the guys to the outside. They basically get onto each other there. A slingshot senton by TJP into the ring, Eddie Guerrero style, tope atomico, 2 count only. TJ is on the offense with a sidewalk slam and a suplex, but just can't put away Gran Metalik. There's a spot where TJP is on the apron. Outside the rope on the apron, and Gran Metalik from inside the ring on the other opposite end runs in the inside, clears the top rope, and hits him with a Frankensteiner off the apron to the outside.
That was amazing. Yeah. That was incredible.
The crowd did not know what to do. The crowd was like, what did he just do? This was an insane spot. This dude just cleared the top rope and caught him with this Hurricane Rana Frankensteiner off the top. Insane. I wish they showed even more replays of this. This was crazy. How does someone do that? I don't know. Just crazy. But back in, we get a springboard senton to the outside. So after he hits the Hurricane Rana, it wasn't even over with that. Gran Metalik got up, goes back into the ring, and springboard sentons to the outside onto TJ Perkins. Again, he throws him into the ring. TJ is laid out. He hits a springboard elbow drop. Perkins kicks out. Gran Metalik then hits his rope walk where he turns around mid rope walk. It's crazy. It's impressive for a springboard dropkick in the ring. He goes for his standing star press like earlier in the night that we saw, but TJ rolls out of the way, so nobody is home. As he lands and hits the mat, the knee bar is applied. Perkins is on it, but Gran Metalik gets the ropes. This is where now Gran Metalik gets up and chops TJ Perkins so loud that I was wearing headphones while watching this, and it would have peaked in the red zone way. It was so loud, and I was like, wow, that was really loud. And after looking at TJ's chest, it looked like someone took the hottest green tea that you would be drinking, Ting, and just threw it on his chest because he got chopped to shit. Ouch. It looked like it hurt. So it's still real to me. Metalik with a super kick. He's gaining momentum in the match, but runs into a low drop kick to the knee. He's very, very much selling the knee here. He's in a lot of pain. These guys wrestled a match, and now another match. He's spent. They're both spent. We get Metalik is going for the Metalik driver. He hits another super kick. He gets up after the knee drop kick, but he gets up, hits another super kick, goes for the Metalik driver, but TJ counters it into his own fireman carry of his own, goes for the detonation kick, but Metalik counters that into a DDT. Perkins kicks out. We get a moonsault counter into a lung blower, and again, the knee bar is applied by TJ Perkins, but this time he is not allowing Gran Metalik to get to the ropes. We get a counter into a roll-up. Myself and Full Sail University, and maybe you included, thought this was over at this roll-up. He basically was fighting in the knee bar for so long, gets to the ropes, gets pulled away, and then gets a roll-up. I thought it was over, but TJ kicks out. Metalik gets to his knees, scoops up TJ Perkins, and hits the Metalik driver. But when he hits the move, his knee gives out. He's in pain. He could not get to the pin in time. And in fact, as he goes for it, he's just a little too late. And Perkins kicks out at 2. We get a slingshot drop kick, that drop kick that TJ Perkins did earlier in the match, where he jumps over and hits him from the outside of the apron into the ring again. We get both guys going up top to the top turnbuckle in the opposite corner here. And Gran Metalik, while standing on the top rope, lifts TJ Perkins onto his shoulders for a fireman carry, attempting a super Gran Metalik driver. But TJ Perkins drops down, grabs him by the legs. Metalik is swept face first to the mat, and the knee bar is applied. And TJ Perkins submits Gran Metalik and is your new Cruiserweight champion and the winner of the Cruiserweight Classic. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But Perkins wins.
TJ Perkins is your winner here. This was a fantastic match as well. This whole match was TJ Perkins working the knee and everything like that, and the storytelling was great. And Gran Metalik, with his flashy moves, will continue to hook me in. He's just great as well. I loved it.
Yeah, both guys, especially considering this was their second match, I thought looked impressive. And this was a very good match. But I'll say for me, like, I was still spent, honestly, from the first hour, and I don't think that I personally ever recovered. I think the crowd did, though. I feel like they really got the crowd, especially for a lot of the near falls at the end. But it felt like the show had peaked, and it felt like the announcers were a little spent. You know what I mean?
Yes, Brian lost his voice.
Brian, for that tag match, like, really laid low because he said, he admitted he wanted to save his voice for the main event. And, I think in the main event, it sounded like Morrow was maybe laying low a little bit. Mm-hmm. So, I think it's kind of, it's a little bit unfair to compare like this to the match that took place before, because I'd like to, grade everything almost like on its own, but you kind of have to because it's one full show. And I'll say, like, because it was, later on in the match, because the match wasn't as good, it kind of took it down a notch for me, and it felt like the show had peaked, but nonetheless, still a very good match, and I think the right call for the winner.
Yes, I think so too. Although Gran Metalik really impressed me. Some of the stuff that this guy can do in the ring and outside the ring is just crazy. I definitely think TJP winning is the right move here to go into as your new Cruiserweight champion as well, like leading the charge on Raw for this division. But I think you're right. I think my match of the night was TJ Perkins and Kota Ibushi. Just because I think I was more invested into that match. That one maybe had me a bit more. I think it's because you're right. I was a little spent by this main event. I guess that's why you need to have these filler matches. But I thought this was a solid main event here. Great.
Absolutely. Very solid. Yeah.
Great storytelling here. This whole show, top to bottom, was just fantastic. So.
It's a very good show. In the end here, you have of course, the title presentation, and Hunter, of course, does it, and he spends a long time talking to Perkins. So I'd love to know what he was saying.
Yeah, he's kind of like hugging him and talking to him and probably giving him some advice. Similar advice maybe CM Punk gave to Mickey Gall.
Yeah. They're going to tell you that you're not deserving. Let them say that. You should not say it yourself.
So this is where they go into a post-match celebration interview, and this is where they talk about TJ Perkins being homeless. They're really hitting us over the head with that story. They wanted to hit that emotional thing. He mentions that he walks around with a necklace of a key of the last place he lived before he had to go homeless, and he still keeps it to remember, to keep himself at a level there. Pretty inspirational stuff.
I really like this story. I like it.
Yeah, they did run with that. For sure.
And again, very realistic delivery. It felt like he spoke from the heart, not something, necessarily scripted. It felt very genuine and very appropriate. I liked it a lot better than the, wood carrying water. Analogy.
Yes, Zen. I like this guy so much. I can't wait to see more of him on Monday nights because, he has I guess it's weird to say. I just keep saying it. He has a believability factor. Something about it makes it seem like it's so real. It's actually like a competition. You're right. Earlier you said like there's a difference between like the wrestlers and like this like almost like they treat it like a real sport. So I kind of hope they keep that with the cruiserweight division.
I hope so too. And now, now with the tournament over, I mean, the biggest question is how these guys are going to translate to Raw, where, I mean, I feel like it's a drastically different environment with a different producer, different cameras, different presentation in general. How is somebody like a TJ Perkins, who I thought he was very appropriate for this type of delivery and this type of promo, but how will he survive in the body of a show featuring Braun Strowman or, and then again, though, I mean, there's also, it's just different, with the script and all this stuff. I wonder how that'll translate. And not just for TJ Perkins, but for Gran Metalik, but for any of these guys.
Yeah.
What do you think? What are you expecting for Monday?
For Monday night, I think with TJP being the champion, I have a feeling, and I mean, it's obviously I could be wrong. I have a feeling that he's going to connect with the kids. He's a tinier guy, and he's younger. He's young. He dabs. He dabs, man. I mean, he didn't dab today, but I feel like he's going to have a real connection with the kids because of his story. It's like, it's John Cena. Don't give up. Never give up. Like, I think that's going to work, and it's positive. So, I'm all for it.
But I feel like they're really going to have to, and if there's one thing I feel like, the CWC, would really need to improve on for the next time, I think it's, trying to get more varied interviews from a lot of these guys, because I think that was one of the more disappointing points of the presentation, was how we would constantly see the same interview from everybody.
Right.
And, in the end, I think everybody got over because of their wrestling, but not so much for, their story, Brian Kendrick aside. So, on Raw, which is a much more, I think, story heavy show, these guys will certainly impress in ring, but they are going to have to rely on creative, I think, to really make an effort to introduce a guy like a TJ Perkins, because they're great wrestlers on Raw, man. Like, Kalisto's a great wrestler.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing a mix of some of the guys we already have on the roster.
For sure.
I want to see Kalisto, Sasha Banks, and some other people were front row for the main event here.
Yes.
Kalisto is the one I want to see.
But I mean, Kalisto's a great wrestler. Neville's a great wrestler, but those guys aren't over on the main roster. You know what I mean?
You're right.
And I mean, I guess losing doesn't necessarily help, but I mean, these guys have wins, but they just don't connect. So somebody like a TJ Perkins, creative, really, I think they need to make him a priority if they want to get this division off the ground. I mean, I would love it if they kept the same production team for a segment, or at least the cruiserweight segments on Raw, and just almost kind of treated it as its own entity. I mean, I'd love to see that experiment and how that would play out. Just cause, I mean, the way they did it here was so fresh and great, but I don't know. I don't fully expect that they'll do that.
Well, I mean, there's a cruiserweight championship now, so they can do similar things where it's like guys just want to be champion. It makes sense. Everyone wants to be the best, but I have an issue with this. The elephant in the room way. If TJ Perkins really claims to be the cruiserweight champion, then he needs to step up and face the last champion who never lost the belt way.
Who's that?
Hornswoggle. He deserves a rightful match to see who the unified cruiserweight champion is.
The fact that Hornswoggle was the last cruiserweight champion, I think,
disrespect,
lowers my expectations yet again for what I'll see on Monday. With this,
that was a long time ago. That was like what, 2007 or something. Like that was probably almost 10 years ago.
Jeez, I guess so.
I think times have changed. Hopefully.
I mean, they're off to such a great start, and they built such a great reputation for the cruiserweights with this tournament that I hope that they'll be able to continue it. But I mean, I can't help but play the pessimist, to think about it. And let's talk about the tournament though, as a whole. And I want to know your performer of the tournament. Now I want to know your match of the tournament.
Ooh, good question. I think I really, really liked this TJ Perkins and Kota Ibushi match, but But you know what? And I know people are going to say that Kota Ibushi and Cedric Alexander was their favorite match from this tournament. And I'm stuck between those two. But just to go left field, I'm going to say Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa was my favorite match of the tournament. Just because those guys just went out there for like 15, 20 minutes and beat the shit out of each other.
That one really was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think the first great match out of this tournament. And if they had that match, let's say in the semifinals or the finals, it would have meant even that much more.
Right.
That match seemed like an eternity ago. Mm-hmm. But definitely that was up there. The 3 Kota Ibushi matches, Cedric Alexander,
Brian Kendrick.
I think it got 5 stars. I think Meltzer rated it 5 stars.
I think he said it was just under 5 stars.
Oh, was it just under 5?
I think he said, to me, that match was so crazy. That match, I think, is going to be one of the talked about matches. But,
Dude, that was amazing. The Ibushi Perkins match was amazing, but I think for me, I got to go Brian Kendrick Kota Ibushi because the storytelling was that tremendous. I think Brian Kendrick was just, played his role so well, and was able to, has shown so much evolution as a storyteller in pro wrestling. And you combine that with just the technical prowess of both guys. Mm-hmm. I thought they really, and Daniel Bryan on commentary, who was, and again, let's give credit one last time.
Yeah.
To Daniel Bryan and Mauro Ranallo for making this what it is. And also, I'm also, again, not looking forward to Raw because I don't know how this will turn out under Michael Cole. They got Corey Graves, who I think will do a great job though. So I think I'm relying on Corey to really hold this up.
I totally forgot about that. You're right. We're gonna have to hear Byron Saxton call Cruiserweight classic Cruiserweight matches.
They'll try to do a good job, I'm sure. But I think that's my match of the tournament.
What about performer? Was it Kota?
And just looking at the track record, I have to go with Kota Ibushi.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. I think that every match of his stood out to me. So I'm with you on that one. I have to say. I told you from the beginning. Wait, okay, maybe not the beginning, but like last week, 2 weeks ago, TJ Perkins.
Can you name so who are some of your other standouts that you
Gran Metalik was so the second I saw him, the first match I saw him, I was like, yeah, he looks okay. He looks kind of average. He grew on me instantly. He was a guy I didn't really know it. I didn't know at all. And he definitely grew on me. He is definitely a standout. For me, I wish I got to see more of Zack Sabre Jr. because I have seeked out some of his prior matches from Progress, and they were very impressive. And he had I think today's match was his best one of the tournament. But,
oh, yeah.
I would love to see more of him. Hopefully he comes into the WWE. Our boy Jackie Boy, he was a standout in this tournament.
Jack Gallagher, I feel is, it's a shame he didn't carry on further in the tournament, but right. I think he's on a lot of people's minds as a breakout performer from here.
Yes.
But you can really just go through the list, man.
Most of these guys stood out to me.
Cedric, Rich Swann, Tony Nese was awesome. Drew Gulak is awesome. These are all kind of guys we know, but Akira Tozawa. Oh,
yes, man. Yeah. See, you know what? All these guys are crazy. I think Cedric Alexander for me is the guy I want to see propel. I think he can go very far in the WWE, and I'm not just talking like cruiserweight division. I think that guy is a star. I think. I don't know. I'm just a huge Cedric fan since I saw him in Ring of Honor years back. So I think he's definitely a one to go far. These people aren't just chanting "Sign Cedric" for a reason. In his match tonight, they chanted "Welcome back." So people clearly like that guy as well. But so many great guys in this tournament.
Yeah. So yeah, great time. Good time.
I loved it. And now what am I going to watch now, Way? I have to find something else to...
Total Bellas.
Total Bellas. Are you going to do a review of Total Bellas?
I'll actually enjoy that stuff, so yeah, I'll probably watch it anyway. Right. But it's a very different
What do you mean? It's like the same show. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, Daniel Bryan's on both of them.
Yeah. So
actually, Brian Kendrick was on the last season of Total Divas.
Wow.
Training Eva Marie. So.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, sweet, yeah.
Maybe he'll make it. Maybe Kota Ibushi will make an appearance.
Yeah, he's close enough. We'll get some Kota. Yeah. We'll get Kota Ibushi, and he'll date someone. I don't know. He'll date a diva, and then
sure,
that'll be great. That'd be fantastic. No, I love this tournament. It was a success in my books. 2 thumbs up for the WWE for this. I'm telling you, 2016, greatest year in pro wrestling.
You know what? Just judging by in-ring, You might have an argument, man, because shit, like this year is just.
Tell me a better year. Someone, I dare you. Kevin Owens is your champion. You got AJ Styles. AJ Styles is WWE champion.
Do you realize like Nakamura AJ was like sorry not with Nakamura AJ
it's still 2016
was this year.
Yeah, so it's still count. Like this year is insane, man. I'm telling you, 2016 is the year of wrestling. Just fantastic stuff. WWE, they knew, a few years back with the whole everyone upset that they kind of messed up the Daniel Bryan thing. They're making up for it now. They're like, hey man, we got you. We sorry. We good, fam. We got you still. So great.
Still.
Great. 2 thumbs up for this whole tournament. Just fantastic stuff. If you haven't seen it and you just decided to listen to me and Way nerd out about it, go watch it.
Yes.
But we have feedback because some people did watch it, Way. Mm-hmm. Let's go to this. I think we have a lot of people are writing feedback for this, Way. Go ahead. Do you have it open?
Yeah, of course. We start from our favorite, Jesse from the 66666. Views on CWC. I love the tease of Ibushi being counted out after what allegedly happened at the tapings of this last match. That is true. Yes. I love how they worked that in. I almost bought it. I also love TJP checking Ibushi's kicks. I remember an interview Santino Marella did with The Law about a year ago when he said he wanted to see more checked kicks and stuffed takedowns in wrestling, and I completely agree. I consider Ibushi among the top 3 wrestlers in the world, and I also hear he's a very strange person, so I don't blame WWE for not getting him signed. Given that, I mean, I don't know if I don't know if they, first of all, didn't sign him. Or if he, more than likely, I imagine he probably tried, or maybe they just couldn't come to an agreement. Yeah. But I don't know if him being a strange person necessarily was their reasoning for not working with him. I don't know about that. Given that, I think TJP is a great choice as the first champ, even if he doesn't seem all that great at catching guys when they dive at him. That is true. Well, at least that there's one missed dive in that main event. I hope it's incredible to see what the WWE has done with misused talents from TNA. He hopes Braden will reunite to review Total Bellas. Probably not, because I don't think Braden will watch. There's still so many questions I need to ask you in feedback threads to get your views on topics such as Party Next Door, DVSN, and Jazz Cartier.
Party Next Door and Division are both under the OVO label, Drake's label. Party Next Door, I'm a huge fan of. I've seen him live a few times. He's not great. Division kind of fell flat. And Jazz Cartier, he might be just hype, so maybe. But those are all upcoming Toronto.
These are. I think you should save these questions, Jesse, for what's next, because I clearly have no idea.
Oh, Jason would be like, where's the Party Next Door? And what are we dividing? And what jazz? What jazz? Music? What? I don't know. Thank you, Jesse, from the 6. Suntan Superman. Hey guys, I'm a big fan of the show. While I haven't gotten a chance to watch the CW finals at the time of writing this, I know you guys are both big on music, so I wanted to ask which entrance theme has been your favorite?
Of the CWC, I mean, I
can't really tell, yeah.
None of them have really made that much impression.
I like Cedric's.
He mentions here he stumbled upon the Max theme, and I do actually remember that one because of obviously the Michael Jackson vibe. So I guess that one, but I can't say I've heard it more than once. So
yeah, I'm obsessed with Shinsuke Nakamura's theme. Like I constantly have that one on in my head, and I also like they don't want none. They don't want none.
Yeah, if you had to pick a theme of the year in the WWE,
that's tough. But I'm gonna have to. I mean, Glorious too just came out. Glorious just snuck in here. So, but no, I'm gonna have to say Shinsuke.
Me too.
So it's just fantastic, just beautiful piece of music.
It just got stuck in your head.
Exactly.
All right, we go to Dan from Baltimore, who says, great match from Zack Sabre Jr. and Metalik. What was the point of the translator if Metalik's answers weren't going to be translated? Yes. I guess he translated one of them. Hell of a match by Ibushi and TJ Perkins. After that match, how does TJ have any energy left for the finals? I must have misunderstood Gargano and Ciampa's promo on NXT. I thought they were facing the Revival for a future title shot. Great match regardless. So I'm guessing maybe it was just poor wording of a previous promo.
Yeah. Real U.S. champ. What a show. And Perkins is the winner and new champ. That belt is fire and and one of the Universal title designs. Oh, I didn't know that. I guess those are some of the leaked title designs.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
He's got a question. Will we ever see Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kota Ibushi?
I mean, I think if New Japan's smart, or
someone book that match right now, and you will make money.
I mean, yeah, geez, that's sort of the match that everybody was teased with, but they didn't get.
That's the match WWE didn't deliver to you, and you could one up them and do it. So, and he also says, who will challenge Perkins? I think we're gonna see you know how like SmackDown and the women's division, it's basically like all these ladies came out and they're like, okay, I want to be champion, and then we had a 6-pack challenge. I think it might be something similar to that, where you kind of got to explain who everyone is at first. So
I agree.
Yeah, I
think it'll be also interesting to see how they integrate the current roster into that cruiserweight division, because I think you have to be kind of careful there, because Neville seems like a perfect shoe-in, right? But Neville also is a low to mid carder in the WWE, and so do you want to have that guy immediately? Kind of like the worst of the lot, be the best of the cruiserweights.
True.
Not to say he's the worst, of course, but that's the positioning he's kind of in
right now. Yeah.
So I don't know. How they're going to do that, but I would like to see some of that integration to really freshen the things up. I mean, there are a lot of names actually on NXT as well that would fit the cruiserweight.
100%. Yeah, for sure. Is this me or you?
Sorry, that's me. We go to great matches all night. TJ was a standout performer early in the tournament and has the right skill set to lead the division on the Raw roster. Gran looked like a typical luchador at first, but quickly proved in the ring that he deserved to be in the finals. Great tournament. I hated the crowd tonight. Once they saw Ibushi lose, then they started crying like babies. The belt reveal was smooth. Bryan was sweating like a dog in the sun. He was pretty devoid of breath at times. Sad that this is the last we get of Daniel Bryan and Morrow together. While I love the CWC, I hope they wait a couple of years to bring it back so it has a chance to feel special again the next time around.
Burgundy from House of Glory. Holy tournament, Batman. What a 10 weeks that all was. Really simple. What do we see as the immediate future? Who's the Cruiserweight champion? Do they hold it on for a long time? How does the division play out? Basically, how do you think they will book the first months of the Cruiserweight division, and will it remain strong for long term? Yeah, we kind of answered that, but I think you gotta maybe lots of crazy tag matches at first to get people's attention. I don't know.
A lot of it. I mean, the strength of the division is the in-ring, so they're really gonna have to showcase that. I really hope that they do not relegate a lot of these matches to the kickoff of a pay-per-view, which I can.
Yeah, no, they won't do that. They won't do that.
You got to treat these guys with importance.
Yes.
And, since the last time the Cruiserweights were around, I feel like the wrestling audience is a lot different. And I feel like what's required for guys to get over is kind of different. I think in ring, being good in ring speaks a lot more these days, even for a mainstream audience, than maybe it did the last time the Cruiserweight title was around. I just hope that they book it strong, and I hope that they let these guys perform.
Do you think we see TJ Perkins defend his Cruiserweight championship at Clash of the Champions in a few weeks?
Every belt's supposed to be defended.
Exactly. So we better see him have a match. So maybe
So they might even have to name one this week, because isn't it like they got 1 week to go?
Yeah, exactly. They better hurry up, man.
Yeah.
There it is. There, you have your 6-pack challenge there. And
yeah.
Great. Swanky92, what a great show. 4 great matches, even though you can debate the tag team match winner. Awesome to see TJP win the title and finish the underdog story. Dab on him. Can't believe this tournament is over, but now look forward to the Cruiserweights on Raw. Question, with Kalisto at the final sitting with the guys that are expected on Raw, do you think his SmackDown contract expired and that's why Swagger was brought over to SmackDown to replace the body spot of Kalisto?
God, I hope so. I don't even know the last time. I don't even remember when he was on SmackDown last.
It's because he was doing lucha things, man. He was busy. That's the last time we saw him.
He should really do his lucha things on Raw.
Yes.
But then again, you also have like Gran Metalik here, who's kind of your resident luchador. But I mean, that kind of makes a natural feud, doesn't it? So I'd love to see Kalisto in the division. We go to Bill, who says, the new belt is gorgeous, but the finals as a whole left me very pissed off. I have nothing against TJ Perkins, but I was never super impressed by his work in the tournament. I definitely think Gran Metalik should have won after delivering some of the best performances of the entire thing. But this is WWE, and the underdog story Perkins had going for him made him the clear winner to win, no matter how good of a wrestler he was. I mean, I have to really disagree. Really, really disagree. But we all have separate opinions.
Mata from San Jose. Great wrestling tonight. Congrats, TJP. Oh, wait, did you just read this one? Or did I?
No.
Oh, okay. He's saying, I am upset about who was in the finals. I completely understand that they need to showcase who will be a champ and on Raw. But by the end of the semis, it was no longer the best in the world. Rather, it's the best WWE can sign out of the best four in the world. I'm not bitter. I'm just stating facts.
I mean, I can understand that as a fan, but you know, they were kind of put in a position that they had no other choice. You know, I mean, you could have put Zack Sabre Jr. in the finals, I guess, but I feel like being able to promote Gran Metalik as the guy who made it to the finals is much more valuable than, you know, just having maybe a stronger star powered main event. Mm-hmm. We go to Chris in Ottawa, who says, what a tremendous production. The CWC somehow surpassed the G1 as the top multi-show event in pro wrestling. I'm really going to miss seeing Kota Ibushi and Zack Sabre Jr. so often. It must be strictly business for those two. They make more money independently than what WWE must have offered them to participate in Raw's Cruiserweight division. I will not miss Ho Ho Lun.
I will. I mean, he could be.
I think he's still around.
He could be on Monday nights, guys.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he's signed. I don't know if he'll be part of the tournament, but I feel like he's with the company in some capacity.
Well, I can't wait to see what he brings to the table. Charles in Louisiana. Bray Ting, I'm ashamed to say this. This is my first time leaving feedback since you guys started CWCeen. Regardless, what a tournament. I'm glad TJP won because, in my opinion, he looked to be the most complete competitor in the entire tournament. He's got some questions. If WWE decides to do another classic, what should the focus be? Women, tag teams, or more cruiserweights?
I would love to see a women's tournament.
Me too.
I think there's a plethora of great talent out there that's untapped, and I think you'll see some very strong matches. I mean, I guess you have to wonder if the thing about this tournament was that there was no cruiserweight division, so they were holding a tournament to populate that division. There are women's divisions. Could they use more talent? I think they could always use more talent. But of all the suggestions, I definitely see the most value in promoting a women's tournament. I think it would help them to take a break from the cruiserweights. Tag teams we kind of got already. They have enough people for tag teams. But you know what? Throw a women's tournament together and throw in some of your NXT girls in there.
100%, 100%. They need to have. We're losing all our NXT women to the main roster, so we definitely need to find some new ones. But I also would like to see more tag teams. Maybe change that Dusty Classic, like keep it the Dusty Classic, but like make it the tag tournament and bring in other tag teams, because that would be great too. But both sound great. And his second question is, who is your favorite competitor? I think we both said Kota Ibushi.
Yeah, we go to excuse me, Kelvin, who says, now that the CWC is over, do you think that if King of the Ring was presented in the same style of the CWC, say 16 Raw guys in the Raw bracket and 16 SmackDown guys in the SmackDown bracket, with the winners in each meeting in a network event, would it raise the value of King of the Ring and restore its prestige after its burial throughout the 2000s?
I don't know. This was something completely new and fresh. That's what I liked. You didn't have the old names to sell you on it. You know what I mean? Like, this was completely so.
I think King of the Ring, again, it's just like, it depends on how important they treat it, and it depends on how they treat the winner. That's the problem. I don't think it's necessarily the presentation or the format of the tournament itself. It was just the follow-up. I mean, they did a fucking table for three of three guys joking about how much of a losers, how big losers they were to like the worst kings of the ring.
Yeah.
They had a table for three for the meeting of the three worst kings of the ring. And so, you know, that's the problem. I think, and it might be the same for this Cruiserweight tournament too. You know, this was great, but if they don't follow up with the winner, kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it?
Okay, let's do one more each here. Mark from Vaughan, really enjoyed this summer's tournament. It's a shame Ibushi hasn't signed because his matches against Alexander, Kendrick, and TJP were my highlights. He's got a question. With Ricochet not re-signing with Lucha Underground past Season 3, should Triple H just send him the 2017 Cruiserweight trophy now? Also, which non-TJP Cruiserweight are you most excited to see on Raw? For me, it's Akira Tozawa.
For me, it's Jack Gallagher.
Yeah, I really want to see how that guy, what that guy does on Monday Night Raw.
Who we will actually get to see on Saturday.
Yes.
At the Smash vs. Progress show that is, of course, taking place in
Smash
Toronto,
vs. Progress. Zack Sabre Jr. is on the card as well. So
yeah, straight off of this.
Yeah, super hot right now.
I imagine both those guys will get quite the ovation in that very small gymnasium at the Franklin Horner Community Center.
Yes, here in Toronto.
Yeah,
no, that's I'm super excited to see that. I'm super excited. I think for me, to see one guy, I'm kind of excited to see Gargano and Ciampa, to see what happens with them. But I'm going to miss them on NXT because I love their tag team run. But and then there's one last one here that I thought we should mention because there was a pre-show in this match. Our friend Will from Georgia, I'm stealing the feedback from you, Wei.
Yep.
Will from Georgia always comments on NXT and the Cruiserweight Classic because he's always going to these shows. He says, what a fantastic show. It was so awesome to be live at Full Sail for this. Before the show started, the Bollywood Boys defeated Sean Maluda and Martin Stone in a tag team match. I was 2 rows behind Sasha and company, and they were playing air guitar to the Cruiserweight Classic theme before the final match. All in all, awesome night at Full Sail, and I'm so proud and excited for TJ Perkins. Yeah, so they're keeping some of these guys around. I don't know. Bollywood Boys going to be on Raw, Way?
I don't know. I'm really not sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were all signed. So good for them. I'm happy.
I want to see Tyson Dukes on Monday Night Raw. That's who I want to see.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think Tyson Dukes is still doing some indies around here. I don't know if he's necessarily signed, but I guess we'll find out in the weeks to come.
Yep. Well, that's a lot of feedback. Sorry if we didn't get to yours, but so many people are clearly excited and watched this show. So, again, I have to say it would be a success for the WWE and the WWE Network. Just fantastic stuff. I loved it. I loved every second of it.
It was fun, and I want to thank you, Braden, for suggesting the creation of the show and dragging me into it because you couldn't find anyone else to do it. I didn't think I'd last. What is it now? 10 weeks?
Yep.
10 episodes? But I did, and I have to say I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was the show that I look forward to watching the most every single week.
Definitely. This was definitely the show I've been looking forward to seeing every week just because, again, it's just something you haven't seen before. And you better get that. No, that's...
God, we went 10 weeks without a blunder and just had to ruin it.
I loved all of it and I was looking forward to it every week too. And it was a lot of fun. Yeah. I've been watching a lot of the main roster stuff too, because again, 2016, man, WWE has turned this stuff up on us. They want us to become fans again. So
WWE has been so lit.
Lit still. So thank you, Wei, for joining me on this quest, and thank you everyone for listening. I love all the feedback and support. I appreciate it immensely. Everyone has been so kind and so nice to me. So
you've done a great job. I've been very impressed.
I did okay. It was okay.
Along with Daniel Bryan, I'd say you are the other breakout announcer of this entire tournament.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you, Wei. Thank you again for everyone listening. What's your Twitter? At Wei. I said I would memorize it.
I'm going to let you handle this.
I have my eyes closed and I'm trying to think. It's like 0937. 09 at Wei 0937. I didn't have to look it up. I swear. And at the Brady on Twitter, Instagram, and Law Radio. And where can people find all your fantastic stuff that you do Monday nights for your Raw in 3 minutes? I'm obsessed with them. Where do you go for those, Way?
Everything is up at our YouTube channel, youtube.com/live audio wrestling, where if you want to see us do our reviews, review Raw, and a number of the interviews that we will be getting actually this weekend, probably with Jack Gallagher and Zack Sabre Jr. at the Smash vs. Progress shows. Beauty. Those will be up at youtube.com/live audio wrestling. Do check that out. And you can also read all the disgusting hate that we get from the worst people in the world. YouTube commenters.
Oh yeah.
They are the scum. Like if Earth were to ever, I don't know, basically, if the sun died, okay, we'd all be dead. But I think the germs that would survive at the very, very bottom,
cockroaches,
would be the YouTube commenters of the world. So do check that out and have fun. Enjoy that.
All right. Well, one day we'll be back for a show. One day, we promise. Scooby-Doo. We'll do another Scooby-Doo one day.
Yeah, at some point. Sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Goodbye. I don't know how to end shows. That's my issue.
By the way, Braden will be back tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. What's next? Also, iTunes, Stitcher, all that. FightNetwork.com. We all free podcasts. Can't complain. So, yeah, cool. You're supposed to say your catchphrase now.
Goodbye.